have to pay attention to the small things. Those small things are like little triggers to your bigger things. And you have to find someone to educate you and learn about you so that you know how to be your own advocate.
I'm here with Dr. Krystle Dove, and we're talking about the difference between how people may look on the outside and what they really may be happening on the inside. Thank you, Dr. Krystle, for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So again, that's my first question to you. Why is it that, people can look a certain way on the outside, but got a lot going on the inside, and then don't even recognize it?
I think it's because a lot of the times we are so busy with life responsibilities, whether it's your husband, your wife, your children, your parents, or any loved one that you take care of. And we tend to just put on a makeup. It's like a mask. And we ignore the subtle signs. And what I do try to teach people, or even my patients when they come into the office, is that you have to pay attention to the small things. Those small things are like little triggers to your bigger things. When you start to notice that you're getting lightheaded and dizzy and you can't figure out why, is it because your blood sugar's low? Is it because your blood pressure is too high? These are things to start paying attention to. Even if you notice, for most African Americans, we go years and years and years without even recognizing that we're diabetic. And that's because we have skin changes or reoccurring infections, and we don't think of it as that. We think of it as, I just picked up something. But it's because your body is at an inflammatory state and your immune system is not that strong to fight things. So yes, you're going to get sicker so quicker. But as long as we look good on the outside and we don't look tired or run down or beat up, we just keep going. And that's not what you should do. You really should educate yourself about your body and what you're supposed to do to maintain that health. And knowing your family history is like the biggest thing. And unfortunately, because of how we came into America, a lot of our history we don't know. And families are strained or disconnected because over the years, I would say definitely since the civil rights movement, we are not the same as a community. And because of that, we're lacking that background, that education, that support to get you into that no. We don't know. And what you don't know, you can't manage, you can't control, you can't be ahead of it. And you have to find someone to educate you and learn about you so that you know how to be your own advocate. Because, and I don't mean to get too long-winded,
but please.
Even when I round in the hospital and I admit some patients that come in and they're like, well, my doctor told me my A1C was fine. My doctor told me this, but your physician, yes, when you go to a clinic practice, because of the way the operation works, we have to see like 15, 20, 30 minutes. And if you're a new patient, you may get 45 minutes to an hour.
You may.
It depends on the schedule and whatever else is going on.
Right.
And that's not enough time. It's really not enough time, because it's the little things you may tell me that gives me a trigger to the bigger things that I'm thinking about that could be going on with your body. So you got those silent killers, cholesterol, plaque buildup in your vessels, dysrhythmias of the heart that you don't notice that you have, but you feel like your heart's racing every now and again, but you don't really know that you might have a little touch of atrial fibrillation. Your blood pressure going up and down. These are all risk factors. And the one thing about us as African Americans especially, we go undiagnosed so long when it comes to blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease.
So let's talk about, let's take each one of those. Let's start with diabetes. What are some of the little signs that someone should go right after? Like they could think something happens that they, just a sign that they should be aware of to think, well, maybe I might be pre-diabetic, or maybe I'm moving towards diabetes.
I teach people about their skin.
Okay.
Skin is a big indicator. So your skin is your first barrier to your environment, right?
Gotcha.
And you're going to show signs on your skin. So I always tell them, hey, if you're, doing, especially women, you know how we do, we'll turn the mirror around, look at the back of our head with the mirror, right?
Right.
And I say, do the same thing and look at your neck. If you're having discoloration and darkness of the neck, that is a sign of diabetes.
Wow.
If you are, or insulin resistance, because sometimes your diabetes, there's different levels, and you may hear your doctor say you're pre-diabetic versus diabetic. Pre-diabetic to me is still diabetes. I treat you as such because I don't want you to advance. But insulin resistance, a lot of us have it, but your A1C hasn't quite caught up to it. And that's when I do I look at different tests to measure out your insulin resistance, because if I can catch you there, I can catch you before you advance.
So what causes the insulin resistance?
Our diet, our genetics. I do genetic testing as well, and I think it's really important. I really wish that insurances would cover, because with genetic testing, you're able to actually break down the elements of you.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And I have been able to diagnose people with inflammatory disorders that weren't quite autoimmune, but it really acted like autoimmune. And so then we were able to treat them appropriately, and they actually ended up having better lives. And so your genetics plays a very good role in it. Our food source, unfortunately, most communities that are of color, we are in a food desert. And so food sourcing is the key. What you feed your body is will come out. And especially with our elderly population, you know, they're so used to having so limited amount. And I have to teach them yes, you don't have to eat everything, you know, but you have to eat the right things. And I want more green and yellow and orange on your plate than white, because those foods have polyphenols, they have vitamins that your body needs to be healthy. And we're also supporting lowering your cholesterol and cardiovascular risk at the same time. And it's just reteaching. Because again, like I said, your skin is going to be one of your first signs, but also being excessively sleepy, tired, run down, fatigued, and you don't really know why. It could be that. Changes in your vision, and reoccurrent infections, especially with women, reoccurrent urinary tract infections, yeast infections, that could be a sign. Men who typically do not get urinary tract infections unless you're advanced age and you're having issues with your prostate, then it becomes a little bit more common. But at a younger age, you're getting those, that's the sign. And I always teach my patients to pay attention to your belly fat, right? Intra-abdominal fat is, or what we call visceral fat. I always like for them to target less than 10%, because that to me is telling me that we're lowering your cardiovascular risk, insulin resistance, and we're getting into the right area where I want you to be for health.
So for someone who has a pouch,
yes,
for lack of a better word,
yes.
What would you suggest for them to do to bring that down? Because, and this is the other thing, I'm sorry, gentlemen, I see a lot of men who have.
Yeah, the dead bod.
Okay. I didn't say that, Dr. Krystle. I just want to put that out there. Dr. Krystle said that. I didn't say that.
My husband says the thing. He said, "Do you look at it?" I said, "Yeah, you got a dead bod." He was like, "I don't like that word." I was like, "Well."
So why? And it seems these people are so comfortable with it. But the first thing I think is that's not healthy.
It's not. It really isn't. But we're so used to seeing ourselves and our parents and aunts and uncles looking like that. So we're like, oh, it's just the way we look when we age. And that's not true. Believe it or not, I used to be overweight, 100 pounds. And yeah.
She probably not telling the truth, y'all. So I'm going to just go ahead and put that out there. We're going to go ahead and listen to this. But go ahead.
I used to be overweight, 100 pounds. And it's so funny because my family, you know, we always big boned. And I was like, no, we're diabetic.
Okay.
My great grandmother, God rest her soul, I love her to death, Thelma Ivy, she was my heart, had 3 or 4 major heart attacks. And it was just the way that we ate. And we were diabetic, blood pressure, cholesterol, you name it, we had it. And so after you have children, even the men would gain weight, women would gain weight especially. But yeah, that happened to me. I had 2 girls, and all of a sudden I was 100 pounds heavier, and then I tried to have another baby, and then I lost that baby because of my health.
Got it.
It was my blood pressure, it was the stress on my body, and I was heavy.
Got it. Heavy.
That's
heavy. That's huge.
I was
That's
very
heavy. 100 pounds heavy is huge.
It means so much. Walking around the hospital, even trying to go up the stairs for a rapid response or a code, my knees were hurting.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah,
and I would get up there, and they looking at me like, "Do you need a rapid response?" And I'm like, two secs, I'm here. And
my God.
how can you educate someone in front of you, a patient?
Right.
And you're not a living example of what you're trying to teach.
I love that. But you made the transformation.
I made the transformation.
And here it is.
Yes.
And it's amazing.
To be healthy, no longer on blood pressure medicines. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. And I had a baby girl, Kaden McKinley, who's 5 years old. After I lost all that weight, she was my surprise baby because I guess I was healthy.
Look at God.
He was like, "You want a baby, now you fix yourself. Let me help you."
Exactly.
And I took that, and I tell people that story because I want you to understand. I know how hard it is. And our culture has taught us things that are, it's just our history, but we have to change it. And it starts with education.
I receive it. They're calling for you, so we're going to cut this short.
All right.
But let me say, it's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Yes.
I hope everyone out there got something really, really important from this conversation.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be well.
Thanks for having me. You too. Thank you.